Cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on our recent release of the mobile app. My name is Sonia Davenport-Peterson, and I'm a product manager here at Totara. And today I've got Chloe Leon joining us. She is the product manager of our mobile app, and she's going to be taking us through all the amazing features that we've included in this release, as well as looking at how we can enable on-the-go learning with the Totara mobile app. So we're really excited to be sharing this with all of you today. But before we start, I'm just going to go through a bit of housekeeping for today's session. Cool. So I'm going to be co-hosting and facilitating this webinar. I'll be keeping an eye out on any questions that come up throughout the session. All the questions are welcome at any time through the Q&A panel in Zoom. So we'll make sure to go through all of these at the end. And any relevant links that come up throughout the session will be posted in the chat window by me. So make sure you keep an eye on that as well. So this will be a recorded session, and the recording will be made available in the Totara community later tonight or tomorrow. It's 9 p.m. for us here in Wellington, New Zealand. So we might be uploading it tomorrow instead. Likewise, any follow-up discussions or questions that we don't get to go through today will be raised in the Totara community forums. So if you're not yet a member of the Totara community, I will post a link to the forum, and this will allow you to request an account if you don't already have one. Cool, so that was the housekeeping done. Now I'm going to hand over to Chloe, who will be taking us through some much more exciting topics around the mobile app itself. Over to you, Chloe.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Firstly, I would just like to share a little bit of the session agenda with you. Hopefully this helps you know when your burning questions will be answered. So firstly, we're going to go through a very high-level feature overview describing what use cases that we were bearing in mind as we were building the first version of our app. Then we'll talk through some basic steps in getting your mobile strategy off the ground from an administration perspective. After that, if you'd like to get involved with a more interactive element, we'll also give you the opportunity to take the app for a test drive live as I talk you through some of the neat learner interfaces that we've got now. Finally, we'd like to share an idea of the future that we have for the Totara mobile app as well. And then to close, if we have enough time, we'll go through some of the questions that you've asked if we didn't already answer them as we went through. Okay, so let's get stuck in. Realistically, in today's demanding and fast-paced world, individuals rarely get the chance to regularly schedule in some dedicated learning time. Instead, we know that many individuals engage in just-in-time or I have the time learning activities. The native Totara mobile app provides your learners with a quick and simple access to a personalized learning portal so that they can connect with their learning and development whenever and wherever they like. It's been built to support offline use cases where users may have low or no connectivity to data or Wi-Fi. Some examples may be learning on the go when users may be traveling to work, but perhaps have some time to complete some micro-learning activities or some courses. Those who are often away from their desk, maybe they're shop floor workers, like sales personnel who need to keep up to date with the latest products. Or perhaps those who work in full-time in no connectivity areas like oil rigs, nature reserves, or those in humanitarian services. We've also included push notification support to help users keep users informed of learning-related tasks that they're due to complete, especially for roles like hospital ward staff, where their day-to-day doesn't necessarily involve checking their emails or routinely checking their LMS for the latest updates. The app will be compatible with Totara Learn 13 and is free to all Totara subscribers as well. All right, so let's talk about getting set up. To create a good user experience, there are quite a few tools that we're offering to tailor this experience for your organization. So let's take a look at how this is managed from the platform perspective. Like I said, it's compatible with Totara Learn 13. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is ensure that you've arranged for your upgrade to Totara 13. And if you're new to Totara Learn, then ensure you get started on Totara 13. Along with that, you'll need to ensure that your learners are that you're targeting to have access to mobile devices that are either running iOS or Android operating systems. And now all you need to do is go to the platform. And as you can see on screen here, it's as simple as enabling the app with this checkbox. Okay, so now we've turned on the mobile app. What do we do next? We have a few options here to help users get started and log into the learning portal through the app. We have options to either access content through either a native, web view, or mobile browser experience. And some of those words might seem a little bit foreign, but all it means is that we are enabling organizations to handle their authentication workflows in various ways, because we know that some people may have simple workflows or to more complicated things like single sign-on and various other plugins as well. Additionally, we provided some options around when this authentication might time out. So many users don't expect to need to log in every single time they use an app of this kind of nature, and uptake will definitely be lower if this barrier to entry is not addressed. So what we've done is provide some options of either never, 1 day, 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on the security policies of your organization. So once a user has logged in, how do we personalize the app? It's really important that learners feel like they are within a familiar branded experience when accessing their learning. So we've added a few initial options to create this sense of personalization so that you can align the app to the look and feel of your platform or organization. So as you can see here, you'll be able to add a logo that learners will see after they've connected to your platform, a primary color for action items, and additionally, just like with the rest of our platform, you'll be able to access language strings to change them. So more familiar terminology can be used if necessary. So for instance, if you don't like the term current learning, which you'll see shortly, you could change this maybe to in progress learning or something else. Just to note as well that these are not the only ways that you can make the app feel familiar. We've used a very imagery heavy design, so you can take control of what the experience feels like. I'll talk a bit about this next. So when creating mobile first content, it's really important that you bear in mind what is suitable for consumption from a mobile device. As we know, not all learning is suitable for all delivery methods, and there are a few existing tools that we've utilized to help with this. In addition, we've also added a couple more to make it easy to manage as possible. We will have some academy courses that will be made available through the Totara community very soon that will help you get into more detail about this kind of topic and help support you through this kind of mobile journey. But a few principles to bear in mind will be, is your content fully responsive? We know that many authoring tools offer this kind of support, and it's really important that we make use of those rather than just content that's simply being resized to a smaller screen, where text and images might just become unreadable. Another question you might ask is, does your course contain visual elements like imagery or videos? Usually text-heavy courses are much more difficult to consume when on the go, and more interactive elements like videos are more effective for this kind of learning. So once you've assessed your content, you'll be able to mark this course as compatible with the mobile app, and I'll just show you that very quickly here as well. So you've gone into your course, you feel happy that you're happy with the content here. And it's a simple setting which marks the course as compatible or not. And then just like as before, these course summary and course image right here are what's being pulled through into the mobile app as well. We try to use existing fields just to help with the kind of transition from your existing content to make it mobile friendly. So next, what about offline learning? So offline learning has been a much needed ability, especially for the use cases that I outlined at the start of the webinar. So to answer this need, we've also included a SCORM player that has some offline capabilities, and we've worked to cache as much of the app experience as possible so that momentarily dropping out of service shouldn't affect the learner whilst they're engrossed in learning content and doesn't necessarily require an internet connection. For those of you who'd like to limit which SCORM packages are suitable for offline attempts, perhaps if you need to have need to be strict on the number of attempts that you allow a learner to take, then we have a new setting which hands this control over to you, which you can see here at the bottom of the screen, which is just under the attempts management within the SCORM settings. Finally, but not least, re-engaging learners to come back into their learning is now possible through the push notifications plugin that has been built to support our mobile app. This has been built in a way that admins can control the initial defaults, and learners will be able to choose which notifications they'd like to be alerted to through the preferences within the platform. A note here as well that if we're not currently offering everything that you necessarily need from the mobile app with this first version, you need not worry. Our partners will have access to the source code as well to be able to publish and perhaps maintain bespoke versions of the app to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store if that is required. All right. Just before we get into the interactive part of this demo, just want to explain how this is going to work. So if you follow the instructions on the screen, you'll be able to download the app straight from the App Store and use these details to log in. And I think Sonia is also going to post these in the chat. So when the screen goes away, you guys will still be able to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the meantime, do we have any questions?
Cool. Yeah, we can pick out a few questions while we're waiting. So Lynn Williams is asking, when will version 13 be live?
It already is.
Yeah, it feels very good to be able to say that when we get this question now.
Yeah.
So we went live on the 1st of October.
Yeah. And we're releasing the first minor release since the release sometime this week as well.
Cool. That was an easy one to warm up.
Yeah, and just a fun side note too, you see this visual current learning tile in the mobile. I don't know if Sonia you want to say, but in 13.1 we also have that available as well in the platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the current learning tiles didn't make it with the 13 major release, but we have put it into the next minor release, which is coming up this week. So. Cool. Do you want to go through another question, Chloe, or do you want to carry on?
Yeah, we can take another one whilst everybody's started.
Sweet. So Ron Stevens is asking, could you please explain what works slightly differently as stated by Totara on the help site? So he's put a link to our SCORM documentation where it says, please note the SCORM activity works slightly differently in the mobile app compared to on a desktop site.
Yeah. So Ron, what's working differently is that there's a whole array of appearance settings within the SCORM configuration settings on the platform. And what we've done is actually ignore all of those because they're not necessarily suitable for a mobile device. Things like opening up in a new window and deciding how big you want the window to be and things of that nature. So you'll see it shortly, but essentially we're just showing the content right into our player.
So it sounds like those settings have almost just been made easier for the mobile app.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Sweet. Cool. Well, I will just post these details for accessing the app in the chat. So yeah, feel free to move on, Chloe.
Okay, cool. Right. I will just share my mobile screen. Okay, so I will get started just like you guys. So this is the first authentication screen where the users will enter the URL just like they would in a mobile browser or a browser. And this is where you can see that the branding has been applied. I chose to apply our lovely Totara community purple and logo to this page. So I'll just type in the authentication details. Note that this is the native authentication flow, so it means it's right inside the app immediately. Okay. So since accessing your current learning is the key reason for accessing the app, we've designed this with a very focused work through their learning. So courses, programs, and certifications are included. If users have no learning, we'll make sure that they have navigation available to the responsive browser to be able to go and enroll into some and come back to the app and consume it there as well. This view can also be toggled to a list view if there are a lot of items. And as you can see at the top of the screen, the number of items is also displayed there as well. So if we go inside a course, if the course has been set as compatible for consumption within the mobile app, like I mentioned before, this is what the user will see. Initially, you have two tabs, an overview and activities tab. On the overview tab, you'll be able to see the progress, and also if you tap on it, the criteria that you need to complete within the mobile, if tracking has been enabled and you have certain activities that you need to do. Also, there's the gradebook, if the gradebook is visible to learners. And additionally, in another course, I have this markers complete, which is available as well on a course level. So looking back at the activities tab, you can see here that this is a list view of all of the topics, and they're collapsible and expandable as necessary. And then we also have included content areas like topic descriptions and labels, which can contain different media types like embedded video in this instance. Yep. Just to show you it working and live. Also, let's now go and look at how SCORM works to show everybody. So the app includes this offline player for SCORM activities, allowing learners to download. So this blue cloud at the top is what you hit to get the download. So they can download it whilst they're connected to an internet connection, complete it while they're offline, and then submit their responses for later. So they'll be able to go to this downloads area and see what they have downloaded for offline. Go in and hit new attempt. There we go. Once they've completed that, I'm just gonna always, oh, live demos, come in.
Clear history.
I know, I just clear the cache. Had knocked me off there. Well, this is an example of some mobile responsive content, as I was talking about earlier. And in response to your question, Ron, about what it's not showing is all of the kind of side navigation at the moment. And of course, it's opening within the same browser, and it's not sized. It's size dependent on the size of the mobile screen, not on window sizes and stuff. Okay, so we've completed the activity. It's reported back. And now if the user wants to go in and delete any of the items to save space on their device, they can do it just like that as well. Next, let's take a look at a program. So programs and certifications are available in a very similar way, and they have the same format. So that's through similar to the current learning block on the platform. As you can see here, the overview is very similar to a course. And then we have a simplified view for a learner here. So they'll see the kind of just-in-time learning. So it'll only show what the learner needs to do next rather than overwhelm them with too much content on a small screen. Um, as described earlier as well, if a course is deemed to be not compatible with the mobile app, this is the modal that will be presented to the learner so they can choose to visit this course in an alternative browser if they'd like to continue the learning in that moment. Once a learner, let's look at notifications next. Once a learner has received a push notification to their device, they'll be directed to the in-app notifications area where they'll be able to see the full content of the message that they received, just like that. And finally, for this whistle stop tour, we also have a brief profile area where the logged in user will be able to see a little bit about themselves and the app as well. And also it's the place where they'll be able to log out. So this concludes the kind of whistle stop tour of what our new app has to offer, complementary to Totara Learn. So I'll leave you with the access to the app until tomorrow so that you can delve a little deeper after this webinar as well.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, Chloe. Thanks for giving us a great overview of the app. It was really cool to see all the features as well as looking at best practices around how we can all be creating mobile-friendly content. So the way we see it is that this is just the beginning, and now we've laid down some really solid foundations. We plan to continually improve the feature set and continue making new user workflows available within the app. We have a high-level roadmap which will be ready to share with everyone once we've taken stock of your feedback of the first release. We'll be taking some industry trends into consideration, as well as looking at how this fits into our broader Totara talent experience platform. So as part of our recent major release, we now have various products that fall under the talent experience platform. And these all work to allow learning, engagement, and performance to coexist. So our Totara Perform, Learn, and Engage products, they can all be enabled under one single platform, along with the mobile app, which, as Chloe mentioned, is offered for free as part of the Totara Learn subscription. So with this, we're really recognizing the importance of bringing learning, engagement, and performance together in order to enable people to thrive in the workplace. And I think that the mobile app is really just strengthening this approach by enabling learning on the go and really bringing learning to people where and when they need it. So thanks for everyone for sitting tight. We're now going to spend some time going through some of the questions that have been posted. Cool. So I'll start with, we've got a couple of questions from Ron Stevens here. I'll go through them one by one. So what level of per client customization, so this is talking about colors, logos, themes, functional options, is available when initially deploying the app for a customer? And approximately how much effort would you expect a standard set of customizations to take a competent mobile application developer? So I think this question was posted in the very beginning of the presentation.
Okay.
So this was before you went through the theme stuff.
Okay. Well, just to reiterate, you saw that there's a main primary color, which is essentially just a brand color for interactive elements like buttons and icons and things like that. And we hope to extend that a little bit further. So that's right out of the box in a setting. The logo, which appears on the manual native authentication screen as well. And like I said, all the images around the site. So it should make it feel like a very familiar experience. So as far as customizations are concerned, Ron, from a partner perspective, the app has been written in a mixture of TypeScript and JavaScript, which is a very popular language. So it should be fairly easy to customize as far as that is concerned. I wouldn't be able to give you exactly the amount of effort since I'm not a developer myself. But
So it
we
would
also,
depend what you were wanting, the extent
yeah,
of what you're wanting to customize,
exactly.
right?
But if it's around look and feel, we have provided also a developer style guide as far as how to do it and what interactive elements, how they should look. So it all looks the same and it's on the same kind of design pattern. So definitely we'll point you guys towards that soon.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Sweet. So the second question that Ron posted was, does Totara expect that changes to the mobile operating system versions could affect the functionality of the app? And if so, what sort of time frame before public release of a new major version is Totara looking at to update the code base so that partners can remake customizations and resubmit the app to the App Store in time?
So I see this as quite a low risk at present. We keep an eye on when all of the new target OSs come out. So currently we are supporting iOS 12 and above. And we are also supporting Android 5, which is Lollipop and above. And we make sure that we target the latest release at all times. We're building this on a React Native framework, which is quite technical for a lot of people maybe on this call, but what it means is we're making sure that we're kept up with supported libraries and everything because things in a mobile world change very quickly. So it's our job to really maintain the code base as well as adding some new features where we can, but we really want to provide a very stable environment for people.
Cool. Fantastic. Thank you. Sweet. Next question we've got from Rebecca Fraser. So Rebecca is asking, is there any backward compatibility to version 12? So again, this was asked before you went through the prerequisites for the setup of the app.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case in this circumstance, and that's because we've had to build a whole array of new APIs that the app would understand, and therefore we have that whole new plugin area, which when I showed you the enable is what that is. That's enabling all of those web services to be accessible.
Cool. Sweet. Okay. We've got another question from Titus, who's asking, is this application based on the Moodle app?
Nope. This app has been built from scratch, and as you can tell, I'm not. It's been built on a totally different technology. We're using React Native, and I think that there's been a hybrid technology used for the Moodle app, so they will work differently. So there won't be a comparison there.
Cool. And Titus also asked, does it support programs?
Yes.
Cool. Lee Cooper's just provided a bit of feedback saying the toggle view is a nice touch.
Oh,
I think we do have something similar for some of our new blocks in Engage as well. So
yeah, I'm all happy you like that. I really wanted that to be in there, so good.
Cool. Tony Richards is asking, out of interest, what software are you using to broadcast your phone to your desktop?
That is literally plugging my phone into the computer through Zoom and then sharing that Zoom screen. So you can do that on Zoom. It's actually a pretty neat feature.
Awesome. Yep. Cool. I can imagine that being handy for quite a lot of people. Ben Simpson asks, is there any way to access the course catalogue?
So we've just focused on trying to get that on the go, just in time learning that people need. So stuff that they need to do right now rather than browsing. However, it's been a very popular request. So at the moment, what will happen is if you don't have any current learning, so there's a current learning empty state, there's a button there which says go find learning, which will take you out to the mobile browser where you can then browse the catalog and then it will appear in the app after you've enrolled. However, this is a hot topic and one for the roadmap for sure. So definitely get your feature request into the community, to help us roadmap the next items.
Cool. Irma asks, is there any action needed from the user when the SCORM is done offline?
So kind of like I showed you before, yes. So they'll need to go to the SCORM packages that they want to do offline and just hit that download button, and then they can come back later on when they're offline and it'll be in the downloads area.
Cool. Easy.
But after that, there's nothing that they need to do. It will store the data, even if they delete the downloaded file in their phone. Next time they connect to the internet, it will send the data back to the platform.
Cool. Fantastic. Yeah, I can say I know that a lot of work has gone into making that really easy for the user. So that's cool. Cool. We've got Jürgen asking, is it also possible to get direct access to certificates when a course has been completed? I'm guessing he means certifications. And he's also asking, is it also possible to access these certifications when offline?
So if you are talking about certifications, um, I, I think he is talking about certificates because I don't think it makes sense for
Yeah, talking about the direct access to courses. Well, maybe just give a short answer to both, to either
yeah.
certifications or certificates.
So, if it's for the certificate activity, if you've configured that within your course, then you should be able to get it within the app because we're supporting all of the activities there. It would be great. I can give that more of a test, and maybe I'll save this question and be able to post in the community the exact workflow for you.
Cool. Neil is asking, what online help or support for app users is available? Or is it expected that local support will cover this? For example, if the app crashes or isn't working?
Yeah. So if you guys have downloaded the app straight from the App Store and it's our app and there's no modifications to it at all, we are using a crash support service. So we will get notified of any crashes that happen and investigate them right away. And if needed, put in a bug fix and release a new version as soon as possible. If it's a customized version, then your partner will be able to help you with that.
Sweet. Ron says, thank you. We've got Anthony Chung asking, when will Totara partners be provided with an app code base?
Totara Alliance partners already have it.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. Neil is asking, will H5P work on the app?
Yes. So H5P, and I know especially in New Zealand and APAC region, the Catalyst OJT plugin are popular ones that people use within courses, and these will work like any of the other activities. So they'll see it in the course page, they will tap on it, and then it will open like a web view of that within the mobile screen, so they can use it just like they would any kind of responsive ones. Um, the HTML embedding, however, if you've got H5P embedded into, say, a label using HTML, won't work because HTML needs to be stripped in order to be able to appear on a mobile. And something that I didn't go into too much detail about, but we have a new Weka editor, which is a JSON editor, which means that we can read all of those nodes and be able to see all that rich content that you saw, like the videos and other things like that. I don't know if I went into too much technical detail there, but trying to give it a rounded answer. Anyway.
Okay. Cool. Ian McKinnon is responding to Tony's question saying, check out Lonely Screen as well. So maybe this will be helpful for a few others too. Thanks for that, Ian. Cool. We've got, sorry, just scrolling through. We've got some comments. Ian Robinson says, the app looks great to me. Thanks for the demo, very useful. Cool, we've got a question from Tony Richens who is asking, which activities are supported by the app?
All of the activities that we have within the Totara platform within a course are supported. They all open in the same way other than SCORM, which is through a mobile web view, which just means a browser within the app. So it's a responsive view of each of those activities. This is just the first instance, and we hope to gather feedback on what are the most important activities that should have their own native experiences, and we'll be look to build those next. Yeah.
Sweet. So Jürgen asks, combined with the multi-tenancy, can I change the Totara app design per multi-tenancy user?
Not at present, but this is only because we built the theme before multi-tenancy theme was done. However, it's definitely one of those questions that's come up a few times, so definitely something for consideration.
Cool. Thank you. Bikram's asking, could you share the developer link for customization? So I think we'll make sure that we follow up with that.
Yes.
I've just made a note of that. Cool. Now, Jason Irwin is asking, does this app allow access to the device hardware, such as the microphone, camera, and storage?
There is no requirement at the moment for microphone and camera, because there's no reason to be using it within the course functionality. However, in future, say for maybe perform features or engage features where somebody might just want to share a resource, we might utilize those in future. And storage is being used for those downloaded SCORM files. Yes.
Cool. Thank you. And we've got a few questions in the chat as well. Just 1 second, sorry.
It's all right.
Jill Scott is asking, can the downloaded SCORM be deleted from devices after course completion? Some of our company's smartphone devices have very little storage capacity, and storing lots of SCORM files may cause issues.
Yes, so like I showed you before, you just go to the downloads area and get rid of them once you've completed it. So you don't have to wait to reconnect to the internet. You just have to be finished with your attempt, and then you can go to the downloads area and remove them.
Fantastic. Tristan Oliver is asking, will we need to select which courses are available on the app? Will they all be there? Can we cancel the ones we don't want, or will there be none there and we select? Oh, sorry, he's saying, will they all be there and then we cancel out the ones we don't want, or will there be none there and we select the ones that we do want?
Okay, so this is
opt-in or opt-out.
yeah, it's an interesting question. So what we have opted to do is whether or not the course has been marked as compatible with the app or not. If a user is enrolled to that, so it would appear in their current learning on the platform, we are reflecting that with a tile within the current learning as well. But if it is marked as not compatible with the app, then that modal will appear. So for upgrades, we've opted to say that all of the content should be marked as not compatible initially, because I definitely think as best practice as implementing a mobile strategy, we need to go through each of those courses and make sure that we're happy. We should test them. We should look at the content, see if it is suitable for mobile, and then it can be marked as compatible. For new courses, they can all be compatible right from the get-go if you would like. And there's a default setting within the platform mobile plugin, which just says when you create a new course, do you want it to automatically be compatible or not? I hope that answers the question.
Cool. Tristan also asks, with the theming and graphics, will that carry over? Or do we need to redesign it from scratch again?
Nope, they will carry over. So we're utilizing the current fields from the course creation form. So the course summary and the course image will both be displayed straight into the app as it is now. And same for the program and certifications as well. The summaries and images that you already have will be what is put into the app. So just one set of settings, try to make it as lightweight as possible and low on administration.
Awesome. Sophie Sermon is asking, how is the user data secured, and what experience is there with login methods, in brackets, communication with the server where the user data may be hosted?
So the app is communicating with your Totara instance to
Mhm,
fetch this fetch a token basically to say that this person can be logged in.
mhm.
If you want a more technical response to that, I'll take this question and ask the developer to provide a more in-depth response.
Cool. Rodrigo is asking, can learners browse the course catalog? So I think you answered this before. So this will be potentially a roadmap item. And he also asked, can you please show again how to download content for offline usage? So we do have documentation for everything that Chloe has covered today. And again, I suggest that you have a look at the Totara community and to have a look at some of this
Yep.
documentation.
And also this is recorded so you can watch it again as well.
Cool. Sweet. He also followed up to say, thank you so much for the session. I love the app. It looks great, and it's fantastic that we can start using it as soon as we upgrade to Totara Learn 13.
Oh,
Thanks so much.
amazing. I'm glad. Thank
Cool.
you.
Ben Tuna is asking, what platform based did you say? I'm not sure if he's referring to something
Yeah,
specific that you were
I
saying.
think he's referring to the framework in which we use to build the app, which is React Native.
Cool. Tony Richards, I think that he's following up with his question around the activities. He said, or can you provide a list of the activities that are available? Is this something that we cover in the documentation as well, Chloe?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Bikram Kwan's asking, do we get site administration control from the app when logged in as a site admin?
So yes, so any course creators will be able to create courses and make them mobile friendly. And as a site administrator, you have the capability to go to the plugins area of the platform, head to mobile and turn it on and have access to those settings that I showed you initially.
Cool. Sweet. Yeah, again from Steve Reed and similarly from Ian Robinson, they're just asking whether they'll be able to. Ian Robinson's asking, will my colleague be able to view this video on the community website soon? He was in another meeting and couldn't attend today. Yes, we will make sure that this is uploaded either our time tonight or tomorrow, Ian. And Steve's asking, will this test link for the app demo be available at the end of the webinar for a period of time so I can show it off to others who are unable to attend live? So I think you said earlier.
I'll give you guys between 24 and 48 hours, if that's okay. Just be aware that because you all have the same authentication details, you are the same user. So if one person is completing activities or changing things, then the demo content obviously will reflect that with completions and things like that. So there might be a little bit less. If you'd like to get more of a kind of a demo account in the future, if this does happen, just post in the community and we'll see what we can do.
Cool, fantastic. Anthony Chung's asking, is there mobile security architecture documentation for the app available?
We can provide links to all of the developer documentation in the community.
Cool. And someone's asking, how will the courses from Totara 11 look like? So if they don't have any pictures.
That is a great question, actually. We have new default images as well. So the default images are reflect course, program, and certification, and they're not the standard gray default images. In Totara 13 in general and in the app, we've used the same ones. So there'd be like a nice graphic that matches some of those empty states that you saw. So you don't necessarily have to update an image if you're happy with the one that we've provided.
Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Rebecca Fraser saying, it's a shame it would be a major update to be able to get this app. COVID has locked down so many budgets. I wondered whether we could kind of talk a little bit about upgrading to 13 and how the theme is a lot more configurable, so hopefully less budgets would go to any like major customizations for that. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Cool. And Lynn is saying, very exciting stuff. Looking forward to getting our upgrade to version 13.
I'm
Cool.
excited for you too.
Sweet.
Okay.
So those are all the questions that we've got for today. As we were saying earlier, if you do have any other questions that come up, please join the Totara community. You can post any of these questions in the forums there. We have academy courses, so these are self-paced online courses on any of our products, including the mobile app as well. This is where we house all of our help documentation as well as our developer documentation. And this is also where we'll be posting the recording to the webinar, as well as any other webinars that we run, as well as having there's a calendar for any upcoming webinars as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks everyone for joining us, and thank you to you, Chloe.
Oh, no problem. Okay. Good night, everybody. Good day.